sports betting review. NFL season is here. Super excited about that. And got a lot to cover. We're going to go through every single game. We're going to look at the game from a line perspective. We're going to talk about sharp money, reverse line movement, which you'll see. I'll give you some advice on some plays that we're leaning in. We're going to talk about the special that we have. But before we do that, if you're watching this video for the first time, if you're watching on a replay, I'd love to have you subscribe to the channel. There is a ton of content devoted to helping you become a better handicapper. A lot of playlists you can look at and see that as well. So love to have you subscribe to the channel. If you want to follow me on social media, MGCovers, cover spelled with a Z. That's on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook as well. So let's dive right into it. I'm super pumped here. Let me pull up everything. So I'm going to get all my ducks in a row. Let's see here. Actually started off the day with a win in soccer, so we're already having a pretty good day. All right, so what I'm gonna do, you're gonna be able to see the line. So let's pull this up. I'll go off screen. You won't be able to see me, but we're gonna dive right into this. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll go through all these matchups. The first one here, Indianapolis, Jacksonville. Indianapolis, 57% of the tickets. Jacksonville getting 43% of the tickets. So Indianapolis is a clear public team, which means we would not play Indianapolis, nor would I recommend playing Indianapolis. Now, when you look at this line movement, it's important to make sure you have access to several different books if possible, because you can see here you're getting +7 at some books. Bovada's all the way up to +8. And the reason that's important, if you watch my prior videos, the 3 and the 7 are the most important numbers in NFL football. The 3, the first important number, 7, the second most important number, because games end in a 3-point margin. Most of the time, the second most popular number that a game will end in is in 7. So if you're playing an underdog and you can cover the 3 and the 7, I mean, you're at an advantage there, right? And it makes it difficult if you play Indianapolis. Indianapolis has to cover both of the 3 and the 7, because especially now that line's moved to 7.5 there. All right, next game, Miami, England. Miami, New England. Miami, 51% of the tickets. New England, 49%. Now, I've talked about this before. When you see tickets at 52 to 48 in that range, I basically count that as an even game as far as even split as far as tickets go, which means there's no clear-cut favorite, no clear-cut underdog. It's basically right around even. Now, I'm going to give you some great advice here on NFL. If you can pick the team that wins in NFL, forget the line. Which team do you think will win the game? If you can pick the team that wins, a large majority, I'm talking about 70-80% of the time, that team will also cover. So we'll give you a situational angle that I discovered years ago, and I'm going to give you a really good example. 2 of the most important positions, and obviously the most important position in NFL is what? Is the quarterback. And a lot of people would argue in college football as well, but college football teams have won national championships without a great quarterback. Definitely helps, but in NFL, you have to have a good quarterback in order to win. So understanding that, one of the second most powerful and important positions in NFL as it relates to sports betting, believe it or not, is the coach. Coach matters in NFL. So one thing you can do situationally, I love to do this. This is very effective. I'm going to do this specific game, but you can go through all the games and look at it. So Miami, New England. Let's look at New England's quarterback, Cam Newton. New England coach, Bill Belichick. Miami quarterback, Ryan Fitzpatrick and Brian Flores. So just logically thinking about it, if you had to pick, who's the better coach and better quarterback? Cam Newton and Bill Belichick. So when you're handicapping these games, especially situationally, if you could just focus on those 2 angles, there's a lot more, but you'll see more times than not, if you pick the better quarterback, better coach, that will end up being a win. And here, so you can see the games even split there. As far as money goes, looks like Bet Online is at 6.5. That's important there, even though you're paying some juice. That means if New England wins by a touchdown, you're going to cover that 3 and that 7. Cleveland, Baltimore. Baltimore, really good team. Cleveland, we'll see what happens there. Cleveland is the underdog and the non-public team. Baltimore, public team. That line opened at -10. Obviously, it's down considerably. A lot of people jumping on the Cleveland there, getting that 10 points. And that 10 is an important number, right? Why is that? That is the third most important number in football. You have the 3, you have the 7, and then you have the 10, okay? Which means that's where games fall on as far as margin of score. So now that lines went from 10 all the way down to 7.5. All right, Jets, Buffalo. I posted about this on Instagram earlier. Jets have a lot of injuries today, getting 38% of the tickets. Buffalo, 62% of the tickets. Lines anywhere from 6.5 to 7. Okay, I just saw something, a line change here. Okay, on to the next game, Vegas, Carolina. Interesting matchup here. Vegas, West Coast team, got to go East Coast. Not sure when they left. I'm assuming they left a few days ago. Still, that's difficult to play. If they're playing at 1 o'clock, that's going to feel like 10 a.m. for them. Carolina is the dog here, 42%. Vegas, a very public team, and probably will be just because it's Las Vegas. A lot of people like to play the home team. This originally opened up as pick, and now it's moved all the way to -3. So you got a ton of money coming in on Vegas. Carolina, interesting matchup. Got Matt Rule, his first year as a head coach. Teddy Bridgewater, even though he's not a rookie per se, this will be his first time in that scheme. Vegas, you get Carr back with Gruden. But I do like Carolina here, and if you've watched my previous videos when I talk about this, there is absolutely no reason to play this on the point spread if you're going to play Carolina. If I see a handicapper play +2.5 or +3, rookie, or they have no clue what they're doing. And my point is that just what I talked about earlier, 70 to 80% of the time, if a team wins, they also cover. So you get absolutely no value in playing Carolina at +3. And you can see there a lot of the books push that number up. -115 you see at Bovada, also -117 at Bet Online. So the best way to play that, if you feel like Carolina is would win this game, you would play them on the money line. And depending on which book, it looks like I got Pinnacle at +131, Bookmakers +30, Bovada +130, +129. So you say, what if they lose? Well, statistically speaking, it will be very odd for them to lose by 2.5. 3's the granted that 3's right at a field goal, so if they lose by 3, you would get a push if you played that. But again, if you feel like Carolina's going to win the game, smarter to play them on the money line. And if you lose, let's say Carolina gets blown out, they lose 34-17. Those of you that played the spread, you will have had to lay -115, -117, where the people that play the money line pay no juice at all. And so those 15 cents, 17 cents, those add up in a season big time. Seattle, Atlanta, 60%, heavy public team. Seattle, Atlanta getting 40%. Atlanta, again, that's another West Coast to East Coast. That's a lot of wear and tear on the body to try to get adjusted to that time difference. Atlanta, Matt Ryan, you never know what you're going to get. You pretty much know what you're going to get with Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson. I like Seattle in this situation, even though they are a public team. Philadelphia, Washington, a lot of changes in Washington. We have a really good head coach. Washington is my team, if you don't know that. Philadelphia getting 51%. So this is basically an even game. And this is sort of a tricky one if you're looking at as far as the money line goes. Obviously, if you play Washington, let's see. Actually, this line's gone down from the time I screenshotted it. You can see it opened at +7. Now it's at +6, and now it's gone down to say +5.5. A lot of books. So we're getting some sharp money coming in on my Redskins, and they'll probably be undervalued for that reason. You got a Dwayne Haskins showed some flashes last year. He's lost about 20 pounds. Again, new scheme and everything. So interesting to see how that game plays out, but there's definitely a lot of value at Washington. In this case, it wouldn't be as bad playing the +6 here because you get the field goal covered. You don't get the touchdown covered, but you do get the field goal. If you played Washington on the money line, again, not a bad play there. You're going to get a lot of, you get a lot of value here. +199 at Bookmaker, getting +205 at Bovada. So you get a lot of value there. And let's say, for example, you played let's say, I'm just not recommending you do this. These are not official plays. But if you played Carolina and Washington on the money line, all you have to do is win one game. You can go 50%, and you would be positive you would have a winning day. Whereas if you played both those teams on the spread and went 1-1, you would actually have a losing day. Took my hat off. All right, let's go to the next set of games here. Chicago, Detroit. Chicago, Trubisky is going to be the quarterback, it looks like. 49% of the tickets, Detroit 51. I definitely like Chicago in this matchup here. Even though it's 2.5, I would still, let's see what the money line is. Yeah, +120 for Chicago, in favor of Chicago. If you're going to play Detroit, obviously there's value there because, if they win, they only have to win by a field goal, and more times than not, that will cover. Green Bay, Minnesota. Green Bay, heavy public team here, 54%. Minnesota getting 46% of the tickets. I think a lot of this has to do with the fact that Green Bay beat Minnesota twice last year. A lot of Green Bay's success will depend on Aaron Rodgers. Line open at +3.5. Now it's down to 2. So a lot of money coming in on Green Bay. Again, a lot of value there for Minnesota. Minnesota, pretty good team. You can see that line's went all the way down to 1.5 at a couple books there. All right, Chargers, Cincinnati, 52% tickets on Chargers, Cincinnati, 48%. Joe Burrow makes his debut today. I think he's going to be a good player. I mean, it's hard to really predict that because we've seen quarterbacks in the past have a lot of potential. They get to the NFL and absolutely bomb. But I believe Joe Burrow's going to do well. +3, again, that's the situation. If you're going to play Cincinnati, I would definitely play it on the money line. Arizona, San Fran. San Fran won both these matchups last year, one by a field goal in one of the games and one by a touchdown in the other one. Again, this is a line here. Definitely, I like San Francisco in this one. 36% of the tickets on San Fran, so they are the non-public team. And you can see that line has come all the way down to 6.5. So if you play San Fran, they win by a touchdown, they will cover in that one. Tampa Bay, New Orleans, everybody's excited about this one. 48% of the tickets on Tampa, 52% of the tickets on New Orleans. So this is an even game. Obviously, these lines may change. I took this screenshot maybe about 10, 15 minutes ago. Let me see what it up. Yeah, it's about the same, 49 and 51 right now. So here's another one of those situations. If you're going to play Tampa, I mean, you're getting Tom. Think about this. Let's look at that coaching quarterback scenario. You get Tom Brady, Bruce Arians going against Sean Payton and Drew Brees. It's a 50-50 game, okay? In a 50-50 game, anybody can win it. So who does that favor? It favors Tampa. And I'll pull up the money line, show you what we're getting here. Sorry about my mouse making so much noise. Let me pull this down here. Tampa Bay. Yeah, Tampa Bay +155 to +160, depending on which book. And just forget who Tampa Bay's playing. Just think about this for a second. You're getting Tom Brady, successful quarterback, probably going to go down as the greatest quarterback of all time, plus Bruce Arians, a great coach. You're getting them for +155. That's excellent value. So if you're going to play this matchup, I would definitely recommend playing it on the money line, even though, of course, you're getting that little hook with the 3.5. Dallas, Rams, both these teams kind of up in there. You never know what you're going to get with either one. Rams, this is basically an even game, 49 and 51%. Tickets are basically even. Dallas, small favorite. So if you're going to play Dallas, again, play that one on the spread, of course. Rams +2.5. All right, so let's go to Monday night's games. You can actually see me on the screen here. I'll look up. All right, so we got Pittsburgh, 62% of the tickets. Heavy favorite. Ben Roethlisberger is going to come back. Daniel Jones, I want to show you an interesting stat about Daniel Jones. I read this today. Let me pull this up. Good quarterback, but just like anybody in their rookie season, they're going to make a ton of mistakes, and he did. Pittsburgh always has a fundamentally sound team. They always are near the top in turnover margin. So this is a great situational angle to look at. Let me pull this up. Daniel Jones threw for 3,000 yards, 24 touchdowns in 13 games. That's great, 12 starts. However, he was responsible for 23 turnovers last season. Why are turnovers so important in NFL? Well, you're giving the team an extra possession anytime you turn the ball over. Had 12 interceptions, 11 fumbles. He fumbled a league worst 18 times. So it's definitely something he's going to improve on. That doesn't help him in the fact that he's playing Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's always fundamentally sound, which is probably why you see a large majority of the public playing Pittsburgh. And I want to point this out too. I've covered this before. You can see here where that line, when you play favorites in just about any sport, it is advantageous to play that favorite early. So when this line opened, it was Pittsburgh -3.5, and look where the line is now. Now it's -6. So that's the reason why playing public teams hurts you late, because now you're going to give up basically 2.5 points there that if you'd have played Pittsburgh early. So for the most part, when lines come out, say on that Sunday night for the next week's games, if you like a favorite, more times than not, it's advantageous to play that team early. Tennessee, Denver. Tennessee is your public team here, getting 60% of the tickets at +3. Well, I actually lost my game here. And you get, let me pull this up. Denver, 40% of the tickets there. Well, I didn't do it here. My bad. Hang on a second. Something's not. It's easy for me to see it on my computer screen than see it there. Yeah, I like Denver on the money line here. I definitely like this play a lot. You got Tennessee having to play in that altitude. Definitely has an impact on you physically. So that's the recap there. Kind of summarize it real quickly. If you can pick the winner in NFL, you can pick the team that covers. So one good practice when you look at the lines, don't look at the lines when they come out. Just look at the matchups, or maybe put your hand over. Just like look at Green Bay, Minnesota. Which team do you think that's going to win? So if you can pick the team that wins, large majority of the time they're going to cover. So with that out of the way, we want to talk about a couple specials we have. We'll get to that in a second. If you want to become a client, a coaching client, we have a coaching program. It's $29.95 a month. You get access to all of our lines for all sports. That includes NFL, which will be released after teams have played 3 games. So that will come up in about 3 weeks. You'll get the power rankings for NFL. They've been very successful. I'll give you one highlight. Last year, Jets played Dallas, I think, in the 3rd week of the season or either the 4th week. Jets had not won a game. Our power rankings had Jets winning that game. We had a ton of clients cash on that. I think they were like plus 275 Giants. So it's a very good model, non-biased. And that comes out week 3. We also have power rankings for college football. That will be released in 3 weeks as well once we have data for that. So the coaching program, you get access to all those lines. You also get access to my coaching videos that are not on YouTube, that are geared towards teaching you how to interpret my power rankings, how to handicap objectively and subjectively. $29.95 a month. There's a link in the description box to sign up for that. And if you want to get the coaching program as well as all of my picks and plays, you can get that for $49.95 a month. Again, that includes everything on the site and all my plays for all sports. I send those to you Telegram, and I'll talk briefly about the special we have. I'm not going to bring up a graphic, but you can look in the description box. You can get everything on the site for a full year, normally $249. That's for an entire year. All my coaching videos, all my power rankings, all of my plays for an entire year for $249. If you use the coupon in the description box, you get $50 off. That will expire at midnight tonight. So you can get everything on the site, plays, coaching, videos, power rankings, all for $200 for the entire year. Excellent, excellent value there. If you've got any questions, shoot me an email. You can post a comment below. I hope everybody has a successful NFL season. Good luck, and we will talk to you guys soon. Peace.